Hey guys, how's it going? This is Nate English from EnglishEndurance.com, and I just wanted to talk a little bit today about a conversation that I recently had. I ran into a lady who was picking up some new tires, and we got into a little bit of a conversation about, what she was up to. And basically, she was getting some new tires because hers were kind of worn out, and she was getting ready for doing an Ironman. And so I, chatted with her a bit and asked her like, oh, so are you tapering now and getting ready, for the big day? And it was kind of a striking conversation to me for a few reasons. First off, the fact that she was buying some new tires was awesome, because I think a lot of times people kind of get into the habit of using their equipment and they just use it day in and day out, and they kind of forget that they need to do sometimes just basic maintenance on it. So, for somebody that's doing a bike race or a triathlon or whatever it is, basically if you're not just a runner, you have to make sure that your equipment is working well, because if there's anything wrong with it, that could, cost you the race. And if you put a lot of time into preparing for it, that, will suck if you lose, not because of something that you did, but just because your equipment wasn't, ready to go on race day. There were kind of two things that stuck out to me in our conversation, which was basically that she was kind of nervous going into the event. And, I totally get that doing an Ironman or a half Ironman or doing a century or a big, bike tour somewhere can be very challenging and daunting, because you're going to be doing, however many miles, and it's going to be really long and very strenuous. But, when you're months out or a year out from any event that you plan on doing, hopefully you can kind of come up with a plan that's going to be manageable for you and will help prepare you as much as possible within your constraints to be ready for that event, so that when the event comes, you are not nervous about it and that you're confident that you'll be able to finish it, or finish it maybe faster than you did last year, or whatever it is. I think that, in principle, we have a good bit of control over our preparation for things. We might not have control over what the weather's like on race day, or what the competition is like, and how things play out, but we at least have a good bit of control over how we prepare for that event. And I think that it's good to try to come up with a plan that you think will prepare you and also will make you confident when the event comes, that you're as prepared as is reasonably possible, so that you don't have to worry about it. I think a lot of times when people are, planning ahead for, let's say, an Ironman or some major event like that, I mean, it's a very daunting task for a lot of people. That's going to take 12 or 15 hours even. And then even like world-class fast people, it still takes several hours to do an Ironman. I mean, there's a lot of miles that you're going to rack up. There's a lot of training time that you're going to be investing in that activity, and hopefully being as prepared as possible to do your best or do better than last year or whatever it is. But, if you think about the thousands of miles that you're going to ride in the next year getting ready for whatever it is that you're working on, I mean, that's pretty daunting. But you don't need to think about the whole thing. It's good to come up with a plan that's appropriate for whatever your goal is, but really all you need to think about is, given your plan and your general strategy for preparing, what is it that you're going to do today to work towards that plan? Because what you do today is the only thing you really have control over in the grand scheme of things, and it's a much more, bite-sized task, because you could be going out for, a 20-mile ride or a 50-mile ride or a 100-mile ride. You might be going out for, a 5-mile run, whatever it is. That's very doable. Based on where you are in your training and what you've done in previous weeks, you should have confidence that you're prepared to do that task that day. And that's no big deal. It doesn't matter what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is something you can address, when tomorrow comes around. But today, just, do your ride, do your run, do your training session today, and don't worry about tomorrow or the next 6 months. I mean, the next 6 months, maybe you do 5,000 miles of riding or training, but that doesn't matter. Just keep working towards your goal day by day. Have it within the context of a reasonable plan that will hopefully, set you on a trajectory where you're prepared for whatever your event is. And then when you're getting close to when your event is happening, just rest assured that you've done a lot of good preparation and that all the work has been done. And the only thing you need to do is just relax a little bit and ease up a little bit you should have a lot of confidence from all of your preparation, and you shouldn't be worried because there's not really much that you can do to mess it up at that point. Keep doing what you've been doing, but just take it down a little bit of a notch so that you're a little bit fresher and ready for your goal event, and that you can do it with confidence and not stress about it at all.